This is the standard form equation for a parabola. This is the quadratic formula. It can be used to find the roots of a quadratic equation by plugging in the numbers for a, b, and c. A parabola can have one, two, or no solutions. A solution is wherever the parabola crosses the x-axis, known as the roots or the zeros. Sometimes it is easy to find the zeros, like in the equation x squared minus 4x plus 3. You can clearly see the zeros are at 1 and 3. We can find them easily by factoring. But sometimes they will not be easy to find, like in the equation x squared minus 3x plus 1, where the roots will be a fraction or a decimal and hard to graph. As you saw earlier, this is the quadratic formula. The discriminant in blue can be used to find if the solutions are rational or irrational and the number of solutions. For example, if your discriminant comes out to 36, you know that because it is a perfect square, its solutions are rational. And because it is positive, it has two solutions. But if it comes out to 43, which is not a perfect square, you know that its solutions are irrational. But because it's positive, it still has two solutions. If it comes out to 0, because it is 0, it has one solution. If it comes out to a negative number, such as negative 22, you know that it has no solutions because you cannot take the square root of a negative number. The quadratic formula works because it is just a way of completing the square. This is how you complete the square. You take half of b and square it, and then put it in place of c. You then add or subtract the c value outside the parentheses along with half of b squared. There are two ways to get the quadratic formula. One is by completing the square. First, you start as before with ax squared plus bx plus c. First, you divide everything by a. Then take half of b squared and subtract ca. Then you can turn the left side of the equation into a perfect square trinomial. Then you can square root both sides. Finally, subtract b over 2a from both sides. You can simplify the equation from there to get the quadratic formula. To get the quadratic formula, start with standard form equation ax squared plus bx plus c. Then you multiply everything by 4a, then subtract 4ac from both sides. Then add b squared to both sides. Then you can factor the left side because it is a perfect square trinomial. Then you can square root both sides. Then subtract b and finally divide by 2a to get the final quadratic formula.